Good morning and welcome to my studio. I'm going to be doing a page in my Joy of Art journal today, and I'm going to be working with something that I haven't been using in a long time. I'm going to be working with my Peerless watercolors. These were the watercolors that were used to tint photos in the late 1800s. I have a nice selection of neutral tints up here and quite a nice collection of some greens. So I made this folder for myself so that it would be easy to transport. This piece of paper contains the pigment, and it is 1/4 of the piece of paper that the entire color came on. So I made this folder with strips of watercolor paper next to each color, labeled the color, and then did a swatch. I put this piece of packaging over it so that if I was traveling, I could use this as my palette and wipe it off. But today, I think I'm going to start, because my goal today, I want to practice, I want to work and play and have some relaxing time. So I'm going to start out with, in the very far background, I'm going to start out with this neutral tint and maybe work up then through very pale shades of the green, just to play, just because I haven't used these in so long and I really want to see what happens. So I'm going to fold this back and get prepared. This is not something that you would spray down, because you would wet other things and you might remove too much of the pigment from the individual stamp size squares. And I'm going to work on this sheet, put in my dollar store cutting board protector. And I'm going to begin, I've decided, by putting a bit of a frame on this paper with a Faber-Castell F pen. I just want to mark out my edge. I don't usually do this, but I seem to want to now, so it's happening. I was going to try not to swing this around too much, but there we go. mission accomplished. I have no plan. I'm not going to put any pencil sketch on. I'm just going to enjoy some playtime. And I'm going to be using some brushes that I'm not as acquainted with as I want to be. This is my silver black velvet number 8, and you should notice the shape of this brush. It will hold a lot of water and yet come down to a nice fine point, as you can see. I'm going to start with a little neutral tint. I think I'll put the neutral tint here in the middle. Righty. Maybe a little bit more color with the neutral tint. I'm thinking, yes, a little bit more might be good. Ah, yes, that's better. Now, learning to handle this this brush. Going to be quite an enjoyable experiment. They've run together like this. I'm not happy, but I'm going to try to use a thirsty brush to solve that problem. There's nothing more fun than art practice, particularly watercolor practice, because it does have a life of its own. And you kind of have to suspend your need to be in charge with watercolor. I'm thinking going to utilize the fine point on this brush to bring that down. Let me see. Thinking about some more over here, maybe up a little higher. just because I'm starting to really have fun with this. I see that that is going to be, I think, the answer. Putting a tiny, tiny, tiniest little twist on the end of at the end of the leaf. Alrighty. Let's take this one down to the ground now. This one to here, here, and this one over to here, and maybe a little bit more over here. As you can see, no rhyme or reason. Just having fun learning about that twist at the end of the brush, of the stroke for the leaf. Now I believe I'm going to want to find a nice pale color. I have one, technically, no, I won't call that green. So it's 5, and 5 is 10 greens to choose from, which I hardly ever find in any watercolor set, but I'm going to get out a piece of watercolor paper so that I can swatch these a little bit to see what's going to happen. I'll be right back. Now I want these colors to be less strong than they're showing themselves here on the swatches, so I'm re-swatching a little bit using this lots of water in this brush. It certainly is possible to get these leaves to be paler. Oh my, that one works out nicely. And alrighty, I'm not going to use these 3 because they have too much blue in them to suit me right now. I don't know whether I might want some later, but not at this moment. I think that shows that we have a possibility working here. But before I do this, I've decided, whoops, see what's happened here? That little bit of water settled in. Let's see if I can speak to this leaf again and get that water to move. I'm not at all upset about that, but I just wanted to experiment and see if I couldn't move that a little bit. We'll see. Now I've decided that I'm having so much fun with these, I want in the background, at the back, to maybe put a little bit of this white gold, my Gansai Tambe Starry Colors, the white gold, and I've been letting this water soak down on top of this paint for a while because it has to become rather thickened for it to do its best job. And let me just add a few. White gold leaves here and there. And here, and here, and one more. I'm going to let those dry before I try putting some stems on them to let the world know that they're there. Let's see what we have, though. Can you see them just a little bit in there? Just a little bit. We'll see what happens when they dry. This is my Nothing Ventured, Nothing Gained page. And I think I'm going to start my background with this myrtle shade, my next layer of leaves. Let's have a little bit of myrtle now. I think I'll put a few of these right on this stem. The trick seems to be in the twisting. Down, spread, up, and twist as pulling it off. Let me try it again. Down, spread, pull up, and twist as it's coming off. I think so. Let's do some more myrtle over here. I think some standalone myrtles might be fun. Let's I like the shape of this one. Side angle. Oh my, my, my. I think I've just discovered something fun. Let's see if I can replicate it over here. Down, up, pull, twist. Oh, look at you wanting to make a problem there for me. And let's see if we can't. Mm-hmm. No, 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 you may not do that. I was lucky with that. A little bit more color. I don't know what that was, but that was not happy making. Alrighty, now let's get these attached. let's look again at the white gold. Oh yes, there it is. Well, this is fun. There it is. There it is. Thank heavens. Now, I'm thinking some dark green. But that dark green is a little too fresh for me, so let's mix that in with some olive. That's a little bit better. Was quite a lot of water hiding in that brush. Happy watercolor. And it decided to show itself. going to add just tiniest bit of green here and there to these stems. Still letting some of that original neutral tint show, but adding just a smidge down here. Goodness, these greens are fresh. Not to say bad, but definitely fresh. So, see if I can't calm some of that down a little tiny bit. Maybe just tuck in a little bit of Viridian. If we're going fresh, we might as well go all the way. These are just fun bits. I want to see how far I can spread this brush out. We'll do the old drag and twist here. And one more. And just a little bit of this dark down the stem. Now I'm going to let this one dry. And I'm thinking, I'm feeling the urge to do a little bit of pen play, but I'm going to dry this one and let it sit and let it mull. I'm going to commune with my muse, and I'll be right back. Now I have a green, a gray, and a black Le Pen. And I'm working around the white gold leaves just so that one can appreciate the fact that they're there and not at the same time be forced to dwell on them. These are very, very fine, fine-tipped pens that I truly love. I like to darken the connection of the stem to the leaf or flower, whatever it might be. This one is a little misshapen, so let's see if I can hide a multitude of sins a little bit there. I'm going to work on these smaller leaves in this vein because I have not decided what I'm going to do with these bottom feeders. I'll be back. Well, as you can see, I've been sitting here quietly playing. I have added some doodling to these big leaves. I have added some blank ones down here at the bottom using my black Le Pen, and I'm using my burgundy Le Pen to fill in these little tiny doodles that I added just to soften and just because it was fun and so relaxing. I'm going to stop. I could probably keep going forever and ever, but I shan't because that was not the point of the exercise. The point was to play with my old Peerless watercolors, and I'm really quite happy with the variety of colors that I received from my back to the front, and I enjoyed putting that white gold on sparingly, but just so that I know it's there. And this certainly is my journal, so that's enough for Carol. Less is more on that white gold. Although the temptation to add it down here, I decided against it because I think it would have taken away from the top. If you have enjoyed watching this relaxing exercise in Peerless watercolors and Gansai Tambi white gold and Le Pens, please give me a thumbs up, share with a friend, leave a comment, and I would certainly appreciate your subscribing to my channel. Bye now.